The Halfcast podcast here. We got we're up to about 20 now. Ty, welcome back. Good to have you on the show again.
Oh, thank you.
And today our guest is Paul Gallen, famous Sharks player. What did you
Just an
all-rounder. Now he's a fighter, workhorse. How are you?
Thanks for having me, boys. No, I'm pretty good.
Thanks
pretty
for
good. Obviously retired from the NRL this year, so it's been a long career, but a lot of ups and downs. But I retire very happy in what I achieved. The most important thing being the NRL Premiership in 2016 with the Sharkies, the first one ever, so that was great. But now, moved on to boxing. Got a fight with Barry Hall this Friday, and the last couple of months been pretty busy, man. To be honest, been pretty hectic.
Quick, give it a plug. Where's the fight at?
Fight's down in Melbourne on Friday, Margaret Court Arena. So you haven't got your tickets, get there.
Nice.
And I think it's on main event also on Friday night. So it's going to be a big card. Yeah.
Pay-per-view points. Pay-per-view points.
I saw Barry Hall, bro, hitting the bag. He's looking pretty big.
Oh,
he's a bit bigger than I thought. Even when I saw him in real life, like 6'4", Andrew Fafita's like 6'4", and I'm with him every day, and I'm next to him in the locker, and I don't look at him and he's a big boy, but I don't look at him and think he's that massive, probably because I'm with him so much. And then when I go down to Melbourne and meet Barry, I went, whoa, man, it's a bit taller than I thought, but I'll be right.
But you've probably the tallest opponent you've come up against.
Definitely without a doubt. Yeah, without a doubt, tallest. Yep.
Yeah.
I saw you were training.
No,
go. I saw you training with the Furies.
I went over
Did you go with Huey?
Huey, yeah. So I went over to the UK, had a footy tour plan, like a talking tour, and play a few games up around the north of England. And it's been planned for like 6 months. And then the fight came out just after we got knocked out of the semi-finals. Yeah. So I took the fight. And then, but this tour was still in place. So I went over there, and rather than it being a holiday, I took 2 mates over with me. It was going to be like a retirement party. And they were filthy because they were out every night anyway. Yeah. But I was training. And then, I spoke to the guys I went over there with and needed some sparring. And Huey for the Furies come up, and just to jump into a ring with that guy was pretty cool. So got to jump into him, and there was a really, really good young guy named Sonny Taylor. He's only had 3 fights, one more by knockout, but he had an amateur career, and he spars Dillian White and Derek Chisora, and he was really good. He was about 6'3", really good to spar against, and had some pretty hectic sparring sessions with him. So that was really good as well.
Well, that's what's good. You every time I'm seeing you're putting in work with real people, real athletes. I've been seeing, not calling out Barry, but I've been seeing him putting in the work like you have, and that's one thing I noticed different in camp. Yeah,
I'll take it. No, I do take it seriously. At the end of the day, you boys know it's like getting in there and having a fight, and someone's going to try and hurt you. So you got to prepare well for it. And boxing's not a sport you can sort of muck around with. You got to prepare well. And I know that there's, I suppose there's an element of people that don't really like people from other sports coming in boxing. And one thing I always said at the start of it, I'm gonna take it seriously, whatever fight I have. And I've always trained, done all the amount of training I can do for it. I've always got in and sparred guys who are at an elite level and are better than me. So I think if I jump in with guys who are better than me, it's only going to better me. And that's always been my thought process behind it all. And that's what I've always done. And I don't know who Barry's been. I know he's been sparring a couple of guys up in Queensland there who are good fighters, had a few fights, but I just think the guys have been sparring, and you two guys know, sparred you a couple of times. I just think that jumping in with guys at that elite level who have been around the world, I just think that it holds me in good stead going into a fight like this, because I don't think he's sparring these guys, and I'm not just jumping in there and getting help through the rounds. I'm getting hit hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
we both sparred with the workhorse over here.
Punch the fuck out of him.
He's non-stop.
I know that. I left with the biggest fuck against actual. I've never had a black eye that before in my life.
Yeah, the last one spar we had, you gave me a fatter nose.
I went in all nice, got my shit punched out of me. Fucking hell.
No, but as I said, guys, and I think when guys, you appreciate the effort I put into it. I think when guys involved in the sport actually see that I'm in there doing the right thing, then I think they appreciate it more and understand where I'm coming from. I went and trained with Bilal Akaway for a week. My trainer, Graham Shaw, was over with Daniel Lewis in America. So I went and trained with Bilal for a week. That? Yeah, that was good. Didn't spar him. We didn't do any sparring. He just sort of taught me a few things. And he's 25, 26. And
got
just,
a body rip from
just to be able to learn off him. He taught me a couple of them. So, just to train with guys like that, and when they see me get in the gym and understand what I'm doing, and I'm doing my best to be good at the sport, or as good as I can be, I think people appreciate it more.
Yeah, that's the question that I was going to ask you as well, because obviously a lot of NRL players are coming over to boxing, and a lot of boxers aren't happy about it. I would say you're very different. You've had 9 fights now. You're taking it seriously, but a lot of the people, well, there's some NRL stars who are getting jumped in line in front of other boxers, and it may be diminishing the sport's their credibility. Yeah,
totally understand that. Totally understand where the boxers are coming from as well. But I think at the end of the day, it comes down to, I suppose, what they're getting paid. And look, I feel immensely sorry for boxers, how hard they've got to work.
I think that's what the whole argument is.
They got to get.
That's what it's all about. It's not about the actual fighting part of it. It's about the guys who are training for 20 years or 10 years,
of course.
And then old buds who's just come, and then that's why. Because these people are getting paid.
Yeah, and I understand that argument. I really do. And it's.
But I think you also have to say, like, there's people like you who actually who are good and a work ethic that are going to get better. Even if anyone's not good at boxing, I'm sure if you do it every day.
Yeah, you get better.
You're going to get better.
Yeah, I think we all agree it comes down to what they're getting paid, and I think that, to be honest with you, it's the audience that are there. If you've got a bigger audience, you can afford to pay the people more money. That's just what it comes down to, and I do feel sorry for boxers, but my opinion is, if you're a boxer, if you want to grow and be known, jump on one of these cards. Like, let the exposure come to you, and I think you've got to take advantage of it. And I think the best example is Tim Tszyu. I remember about 3 years ago, Tim Tszyu was under me, and I said, look, I want to see Tim Tszyu main event his own cards one day, and if he does that, then I've done my job for the sport. And that's exactly what he's doing. He's got his own main event shows now, and that's what the story is for these Maloney brothers. The Maloney brothers have 20 fights. I think they're both undefeated. One of them's fighting for a world title or interim world title on the night. Unfortunately for them, as you guys have said before, like they've probably been training for 20 years. They haven't had the exposure, but they're going to be exposed now to hopefully thousands of people, and that can only benefit them in the future. So I think while I do totally understand it, and I feel sorry for them and the effort they have to go to get to where they get to, I think if you have the opportunity to embrace it and get on one of these cards to show your skills to thousands of people, that can only be beneficial to you.
Especially because it's not so much just boxing fans watching. It's AFL fans and NRL fans watching boxers who they wouldn't see.
Expose you to a whole different group of people. And if you get in there and you're an exciting fighter and they like what you do, like, it's only going to be beneficial. Next time you're on a main event card, they're going to buy it. And then all of a sudden you get to headline your own main event card. That can only be positive for you. And look, it's not going to happen for everyone, but Tim Tszyu, the Maloney brothers, guys like that, it can only be beneficial to them.
Just to bring up while we were at it, talking about the boxing, to Dwight Ritchie, young fellow who died fucking sparring. This is for people like us. We do this as a sport. We do this everyday thing, and it hits us, or it hits me. It hits me. It hits
especially
me hard.
sparring, like Look, I don't spar as much as you guys, but you think how many times you just go down the gym and jump in the ring and spar someone. You're not thinking about a terrible tragedy like this happening, and at only 27 years of age, 3 kids, it's just like it's a tragedy, and he's like, condolences to his family, and hopefully his kids are okay. It's so sad, and Michael Zarafa, who was sparring, I'm sure.
Yeah, it feels bad.
I watched this thing this morning on the news, man. That wouldn't be. Like, imagine that.
Yeah.
Especially at sparring, you spar people who are your friends.
Yeah, they've sparred since they've been kids. Yeah, so it's for him to, hopefully he's okay as well. But most important thing is that his family's okay, and his kids are okay growing up. It's just sad.
So crazy with just the boxing, man. Like how hard they spar non-stop, headshots. Like, have you seen those videos?
I think now they're bringing in a lot of.
Well, have you seen the videos of like the boxers?
This, I think they're going to bring a lot of rules. They're trying to. I don't know how they're going to. But do they know what happened?
Well, it was from what's been reported, it was a body shot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was a body shot. He got hit with a body shot, and within seconds, sort of just collapsed, and tragedy from there. So it's a body shot. You know what I mean? It's just terrible, and like. I was asked about it before, what can they do to make the sport safer? Like, you're sparring with 16-ounce gloves on, you got a headgear on, like you just don't know. Like, it's just a terrible thing. I think what's
hard as well is people forget that it's fighting. Like, to do this as a person, like, you got to have fight in you. Like, people think that you're just going to give in sometimes. Like that's why I watched the other guy who died, and his corner stopped it.
Oh yeah,
and
early.
they stopped the fight, and then he still died. Like
yeah,
people don't understand.
Like, no,
people don't understand. Like we're fighters.
Yeah.
You're not going to go out and you're not going to like give in all of a sudden. You know, like
that's
why to have good trainers and to have like good people around you is very important, and people that care for the fighters, not just for whatever's happening.
Yeah, man, we've seen so many people retire as well from brain hemorrhages, like that had bleeding on the brain. They didn't know.
But that's what we do. That's our sport.
It's our job.
It's our job.
But for entertainment, that's what we chose.
It is, and you know what? At the end of the day, that's what boxing is.
Yeah,
it's an entertainment. That's what rugby league is. It's entertainment,
it's what we do,
and that's what I brought up earlier about the bumps on seats. The more bumps on seats there are, the more you're going to get paid along the way, and that's just life. Whether you're a singer, when you go to sing, you go watch someone at a singing stadium. Everyone's there to watch that singer. That's why they get all the money. That's just that's just life. That's the way it is.
100%.
So how did this fight come about then?
Mate, it's sort of come out of the blue a little bit this time. So it's been spoken about for a few years now. When I first started boxing a couple of years ago, I was sort of always warned, stay away from Barry Hall. You know, he could have been this, could have been that. And, you know, you see it as a challenge. And when I was asked about 2 years ago, I said, yeah, let's do it. But the guy could never get Barry's signature on the bit of paper, basically. And then, as I said, probably a week after we got knocked out of the semi-finals, got a call saying, Barry Hall will fight and he'll fight you. And I said, mate, I've heard it all before. Show me the contract. And then I got emailed the contract. I was like, oh, and he had signed it. So I signed it, and that's
But
sort
you
of
reckon he waited for you to knock a few years off? You reckon?
Well, I'm still 4 years younger than him, so I think so he's actually older than me. So I'm not sure he wanted to wait, or look. I don't know what the reason is. You know, as I said, there was rumours he could have been a really, really good boxer. He's an amateur champion. He'd never got in there.
I watched him have a few swacks on the field, like his old school ones.
Yeah.
He went
he hit you, it's going to hurt. I know that, but hopefully don't get hit by him. But yeah, look, and that's how it come about. And as I said, saw it as a challenge a couple of years ago, and now I've got the opportunity to do it. And yeah, it'll be good. You know, I'm just AFL versus NRL. It's been billed as that, which is good. It's down in Melbourne, which is his sort of hometown.
How do you feel about the hometown advantage for?
Yeah, I'm not too fussed, man. The thing about my my career, I've sort of been the hero or the villain, and hero to the Sharks fans, villain to everyone else. Everyone else.
You were hated amongst many.
So I mean, it's nothing new to me. I'm going to go down there and get booed, and But
then again, he's pretty similar. Hey, they hated him as well.
Hated him a bit, and look, I think he was good at what he did, and that's what it is about.
There's always good and bad about being the home crowd and not being. Like it's good you have the support, but it's worse if you lose. Because that's when you lose in front of your home crowd. You're like,
no, I'm not concerned about that. I'm not worried about it. Probably the only thing I'm a bit concerned about is like the refereeing and that. I got a feeling that
boxing him.
No, but let me tell you,
the scoring is the worst.
Yeah, I think not. Yeah, hopefully we don't have to worry about that.
You'll lose.
I think I just think he's going to try and grab me a fair bit.
Yeah,
like he's going to use his reach, which is understandable. When I get near, that's you guys know. When I get near, that's when I have to do my work. So. I don't know what. I'm going to ask the referee what the rules are about that. How often he's allowed to grab me?
Yeah, even say he's going to be grabbing onto me. I don't want none of that. Was the like minutes of the rounds already on the contract when it got sent to you?
Yeah, so it was sent to me originally, and I argued about it, and I didn't sign the long version of the contract or the official contract till the 27th of the 10th, which was only 2.5 weeks ago, and argued about it. And I was upset about it, and then, but at the end of the day, I'm over it a little bit. I'm over it.
I'm not can't let that hold
2 minute rounds.
2 minute rounds.
2 minute rounds. Hey, which I'm not happy with. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you, and I was with you, but and all my sparring was done over 3 minute rounds. And then I thought we better drop it. And when we sparred Ty last week, I dropped it to 2 minute rounds. And mate, the pace we went at, like by the end of the sixth round, I was sort of still blowing anyway.
Bro,
so
he was going hard for non-stop for 2 minutes for 6 rounds, like non-stop. Like there was probably 1,000 punches. I was like, all right, this is enough.
Yeah, so I think that's what's going to be beneficial to me. That I'm just going to be in his face.
How was it given in the footy? And do you think like bringing up the fighting and training it hard is just in? That's because you're just so
competitive.
Fucking used to it, and you're so you're so used to just grinding it and just always like you think that's not going to stop. It's not. It's still got a few more years of that in you.
I don't know how long, Ty. To be honest with you, I think
can it be 85? trying to fight down at the beach.
No, I won't be doing that. I won't be doing that. Yeah, look, I am competitive and I like training. And as you guys have said, I like grinding. I like getting in there and ripping in every day. I'm 38. Yeah, you guys, I'm a lot older than you boys. So there's going to come a time where it's going to slow down. It's going to hurt. And I did notice at the back end of this footy season. The back end of the year, I started to play really good. Then I found the last few games, I just did hit the wall a little bit. And generally when I've done that in my career, I'm able to train my way out of it. I'm able to go to training, do something real hard, and just I think mentally it gets me to that next level again. I just wasn't able to get there the back end of this year. So there's definitely going to come a time pretty soon where I'm going to have to pull up. But I'm pretty comfortable with that. I've got life okay. I've got a good family. I've got a job going forward with Channel 9, which would be great.
Yeah, I saw that. Congratulations.
Thanks,
That's
boys.
So you're working with Channel 9. I heard Barry Hall got fired. I heard a little story.
Oh, he did get fired.
He got fired for being like a presenter or a radio host.
Yeah, I was on radio. He said something. I don't know what he said, but it wasn't great.
Sniffing the fingers or something.
I don't know. I don't know exactly what it was.
I don't really know much.
But he got
he would know. He knows.
But he got fired from that. But yeah, look, for me, going like, you know what, guys, if I don't fight again after this fight, so be it. I'm at the age now where I'm okay with it. I'm sure next year watching the rugby league will be hard for me because I've done it for 20 years. But life's got to go on, and as I said, 38 years of age, at some stage I've probably got to realise how old I am and pull up, but I'm feeling okay at the moment, so I'll keep doing whatever I can.
Have you ever always had that dog mentality, but that like real hard go-getter since a kid?
Yeah, always. Always since I've been a kid, I've just always... I don't know, and I don't know what it is, and I can't explain why.
Just go get it.
Yeah, grew up in Western Sydney, and I loved growing up out there. I know where I grew up now, and it's a beautiful place, and I'm glad my kids get to grow up there. But just I suppose growing up out there, it was you guys know you're from Western Sydney. You got to work for everything that you've got, and one thing that no one can ever knock me is the work I've done to get to where I've got to, and I'll continue to do that, and I think it's going to hold me in good stead for the rest of my life. You don't get anywhere in life unless you work hard. It doesn't matter what you do. If you're a plumber, a builder, an IT professional, whatever you are, you don't get anywhere unless you work hard and you bust your balls, and that's something that I've always done, and I'm going to continue to do that in whatever it might be.
Yeah. And
shake,
yeah. 100%. And so what was the biggest, so you were with Sharks from 2001?
I debuted in 2001. I signed my first contract there in 1999. Were you born then? When were you born?
91.
Yeah. So that's when I signed my first contract there. So
they didn't have email either.
They didn't have email.
You had to walk the contract over.
So I was in school, and Parramatta, I played SG ball for Parramatta, and they sent a lot of their juniors to Parramatta Mara, so that's where I went. And then at the end of that year, I was lucky enough to get on real well with a guy named Noel Cleal, who's like a former rugby league legend, and was good mates with his son, and he spoke to me at the end of that year, and he sort of said to me, mate, you don't understand how close you are to playing in first grade. And I was sort of thinking, I was 18, I'm thinking, mate, please, these guys are God, And then he goes, no, he goes, trust me. And then he said, do you want to stay at Para? And I said, oh, look, mate, I don't know, I just want to play first grade. And he said, well, you're probably better off looking elsewhere, because Parramatta had a lot of probably back rowers who were probably only 3 or 4 years older than me. So I signed with Cronulla, and the rest is history. Debuted, played reserve grade that whole first year, debuted the next year, and just been there ever since. And look, had opportunities to leave, but just I liked living down there, to be honest. That was a good place to live.
The Kings of Cronulla,
So when
did you move down there that year?
So I started travelling originally because I didn't want to leave. My mum was at Blacktown and my dad was at Greystanes, and all my mates were around Greystanes at Blacktown. So I was sort of didn't want to just leave my friends. I just felt I just wanted to be with them, and didn't feel like I could go down there and I suppose make new friends. But back in those days, there was no minimum wage like there is these days. I had to work. So I was an apprentice plumber. So I started being an apprentice plumber. I used to get up at like 4:30, drive out there to get picked up, and then go to work, and that was getting too much. So I ended up moving out there and renting a place with about 4 other guys, and a lady used to look. It's called the Shark House, and the lady used to look after us. So then they used to pick me up from. I was lucky enough to get picked up from work. So for work, so I used to go to work all day, and then train in the afternoons. And then that in 2001 when I debuted, sort of mid-season, that sort of ended because I needed to either go professional full-time properly, give it a real crack, or continue my apprenticeship. And I didn't really like plumbing, to be honest. I didn't really like. My dad was a plumber, so I knew a fair bit about it. So I didn't want to be a plumber. So I decided to give it a crack for the rest of that year, and it was hard, man. You know what I used to do? I used to get. There was a guy who got me to Cronulla, Brian Rule. He owned a martial arts shop at Tempe, and I used to drop punching bags and fill to my garage where I used to live, and I used to fill punching bags for him for $10 a punching bag. That's what I used to have to do to sort of earn money along the way. So like I said, there was no minimum wage back then. So for the rest of that year, I needed to still earn money. Yeah. So I used to just fill punching bags with him full of fill and crap rags, basically. All the rags, that was it. Yeah. And that's what I did to earn money the rest of that year. And then Chris Anderson came to the club and liked what I did and signed me on a contract. And yeah, thankfully, the rest is history. I've been at the club ever since.
Nice, man.
So it's good.
Going back to work ethic.
Yeah.
So you went grand final, played for Australia, New South Wales Blues, done everything. What was the highest one of the?
The highlight was winning the premiership, without a doubt.
Easy.
Yeah. That's what you just. That's what you play the game for, man. It's what you play the game. Like you're with these guys from November, and your grand final's in October. You spend more time within your family.
Yeah.
It's huge. Origin in Australia on the way, the great individual accolades, and that's all thanks to your teammates. Unless your teammates are helping you get there, you don't get there.
Yeah.
And but to play at that level and to play with some of the best players in the game, that meant heaps to me. Particularly for Australia, probably from 2008 to 2013, they were pretty lean years at Cronulla. We weren't going too well at all, and I knew I had to sort of maintain my game at a certain level to make sure I was still making that Australian team. And got to tour England a few times and play with Darren Lockyer and Sivan Asiva and Cameron Smith and Slater. So to be able to do that was, that was a real highlight for me. But yeah, mate, nothing will replace the premiership. Nothing. It was the best.
I know the game's changed and I don't even play it much anymore. But how has the game changed for someone who's actually been at in the top of the whole sport, and what should change from one ref to two refs, to seven refs, or to 34 refs, or whatever there is now.
I don't like the two refs.
Or to
I've always maintained
cameras.
I like the one ref.
Calling it up on every tackle, on every try.
I think with technology these days, the video ref's got to be there, because if you didn't have it there, you'd come on Monday morning, someone would see it was or wasn't a try and blow up. So the technology's got to be used, I think. I'd go back to one referee. I just think there's three guys here, or two of us. We went, if that's whatever colour that is, grey, you might think it's not quite grey. So you just can't have two people who totally agree on the same thing. So when someone's in to play the ball and they drop the ball, one thinks it's stripped, the other guy thinks it's dropped. They just can't get it exactly right all the time. It's just opinions. It's all based on opinions.
Got to make the call.
When they get it wrong, when they get it wrong, they can. So I'd go back to one referee. That's probably what I'd do. But the game itself, it's just, where it's changed most, the athletic ability and just the size and strength of everyone.
There's no big boppers anymore.
When I started,
that's what I watched the game. I'm like, where's the fat cunt? Where's the fatties running?
Or where's the little wingers used to be able to fold in half when they're ready in the middle? Mate, the wingers are bigger than the front rowers and more powerful. I remember when I first started, Brett Howland was the winger. He was lucky to be 80 kilos, man. Wingers like Mamalo. Have you seen Mamalo? He's 6'5" and 115 kilos. They're massive, man. And they're so athletic. Their athletic ability is next level. So that's where it's changed. Everyone's just so strong, so powerful, and they start at such a young age these days. As I said to you before about, there's no way I'm close to playing first grade because these guys are gods. Well, these days, these young kids at 16, 17, they get to come and train with us. So they're accustomed to being with us, and they realise that we're just normal people. So when they actually get to that level, it's not a big buzz for them. They sort of just blend straight in. Whereas when I was first starting, to even train with the first grade team, I was like, I'll just ring my dad. Dad, I'm training with first. It was the best thing ever. But so I think that's become more professional.
We were actually talking about something like that the other day with the young boys. We went and trained down with a few of the boys. A couple of the Critter brothers, they do some training sessions for just all the local kids back in the area. And we come down and we just had the massive feed. I haven't been training, and they're all there just fucking let's go, all just pushing each other. And these kind of look at them they're fucking 14 and shit. And we just got to run. We got to do it now.
We just ate Frangos, smashed.
And it's just we talked about it after. I'm like. It's one, it was a little confronting, fucking little cunts. I'm going to do it because because if I do it, then you're going to tell everyone I didn't fucking do it.
That's why we had to. We ran hard out.
It's just like.
Did you beat him? Did you beat him?
Yeah. It was one. The skinny ones got me. The skinny ones. I got a couple of the fatties, but
they beat me on the first and the last one. They saved it up for the last one.
The times have changed. It's I don't know if it's social media. You see. like all these motivational speeches or whatever, but like
yeah, because a lot of the motivational quotes come out when we're out there.
When you're running,
champion mindset.
It's made it more difficult. It's
definitely. And I suppose it's only long-term future of the game's good in that regard, because of how big and professional they are. But on the other hand, it's taken away from the smaller men in the game too, like the halfbacks, like the Andrew Johns of the. I mean, Johns was a freak, but he was a pretty big body for a halfback. But I'd like to see the interchange brought down, right down. They brought it down to 8, but now they've got the HIA rule, and the problem with the HIA, that's head injury assessment, which means if you get a knock on your head, you've got to go off the field. But it's counted as a free interchange. So I think teams are exploiting it.
So you do the old
big wobble,
the old yellow call,
going past the test, and you come back on in 15 minutes.
Sit down and like call the time off, you know.
Yeah, so there's that these days as well. So they brought the interchange down to 8, but if you get one HIA game, well, that's free interchange off, free interchange on. So it's basically back up to 10.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see them bring it to 6 in the next year or 2, and then maybe even down to 4, because I'd love to be able to see
everyone will get skinnier.
They're all going to be 70 kilo playing the red.
Like soccer players.
Hey, look at Andrew, like Fafita, you know how big Fafita is.
Yeah,
Mate, he's a bloke. He could play 80 minutes if he needed to.
Yeah.
So there's still going to be guys that can do it, but I just think it'll just. I'm retired.
Who can do it?
But I just think
who else can do it?
It'll bring the smaller man back into the game, and I think it'd be better for junior rugby league as well. Like you guys are in Western Sydney, my little fellow went out and played a competition in Western Sydney a month ago, and they made the semis, and then they won it. They beat St Mary's in the final.
Oh,
a couple of weeks ago, they promised you Tommy Bishop Shield first team in 37 years to win it, and they're only 8. But mate, I was that pumped for it. This St Mary's team.
Is that at Cronulla Fields?
Yeah, I was there. Yeah,
I got the player of the player.
You would have played it.
Years ago. We smashed Cronulla.
Well, my little fella's team won it, and they beat St Mary's in the final.
Listen to this. That's where I made a break. Whole crowd, the Cronulla field. You know when you're a kid and you used to play on like a big field, you used to think it was mad. Whole field, all the people there. I made a break. Yo! This little white boy come up from behind and just went, boom! Ball come out. I hit the ground, did a fucking roll, got up, went hard out. I was like this.
It was
Put the
awesome.
ball down 2 hands.
This is also he was the kid that was 100 kilos.
I was running through everyone.
Yeah, it was awesome. They won it because about 2 months earlier they played the Mark Guy Cup out there.
Oh, they still play all these comps.
And they made
That's
my
sick.
team, little fella's team, made the semis and got beaten by and then St Mary's won it. So then at the Tommy Bishop, St Mary's and then made this final. I'm like, and the boys were so scared all day. Are we going to have to play St Mary's? Because like these big kids, actually they weren't heaps bigger than them, but they're probably about a head taller than them, and they were just a really good little team, St Mary's. But they were really good, man. They were a really good, well-trained team. And I'm thinking, and I was just thinking to myself, how are they going to beat them? And they beat them.
Believe in yourself.
Because I know. Do as I say, not as I do. That was what I was like, and they beat him. It was awesome.
Oh, that's sick. I can't believe that's still going.
Yeah, still
Shout
play
out to that, man. That's hectic.
It's good.
Good on the little kids.
What was it? Gone from so it's been good for you because I know you've gone into commentating and like obviously boxing after footy, but I know like one of the problems has been like a lot of footy players what to do after footy because they identify as footy players.
Yeah, it's scary.
So I had a question like what you would give. Well, actually for youngins coming up as their career, like through their career, for footy players coming up in their career, and then also for after.
Well, for the older guys, first of all, after I think. The NRL do a much better job these days at the transition. They actually have a lot of courses these days, and ex-players come in and try to teach you about it, and it's pretty confronting. Like we had a few nights where ex-players come in and they tell you they'll mentally, a few of them will mentally wreck for 3 years. I'm like, man, 3 years is a long time to be not right. Yeah. So I think the fact that's been addressed these days by the NRL is a lot better. You know, I've not been critical of the NRL in the past about welfare and what they do for players, but I can't be critical on this. They are doing their best to help, and I think they've realised it's a problem, and they're trying to identify with it, and they're helping people on the way, which is really good. For young guys coming through, man, you got to do something else outside of footy. I believe. For my last 5 years, I've worked outside of footy. I've had jobs where I do business development for companies, and if I'm a young kid these days, and I know they won't listen, but get some sort of education, something else behind you, that when you finish, you can go straight, and you don't have to do it for the rest of your life. At the end of the day, you might be early 30s or mid-30s when you retire. You don't have to go straight into it. Like, you're only a young man in real life. You may be old in footy. In your mid-30s, you're only young in real life. Yeah. So even if you don't want, say it's a school teacher, say you go to uni, because you can do university one subject a year for 10 years, become a school teacher. At least when you finish, you can go straight into a real job. Yeah. You don't have that transition worry about, where I'm going to earn my next dollar from, what's going to come next. I think that's really important, and the NRL are doing a lot better these days with these young guys coming in, that they're either making them study or making them work, which I think's beneficial to them in the future. And there's a couple of young guys at Cronulla, I won't mention their names, but they one of them was doing university, and he stopped doing it. And I said, mate, trust me, do it. Just do one subject a year. One subject a year is not going to be that hard, and he'll have a long-term career. And he's still quit, so he hasn't listened to me, but I'll keep drumming it into him because, as I said, mate, you get to mid-30s. I'll be honest with you, I'm very lucky, right? I've worked hard. I think I've worked hard, so it's going to pay off for me, right? Yeah. But had I not gone into commentary or with Channel 9, I honestly don't know exactly what I'd do. These business development roles that I do with other companies, they're good. But I can't see myself doing it for 50 or not 50, probably 20 or 30 years. So I don't have anything else behind me. I didn't finish my trade. I don't have any degree. Yeah. So I don't know exactly what I'd do. And that's why I keep telling these young guys, get something.
Yeah.
Just
you've got to head for radio, mate. Yeah. Try 96.1 or so. Fucking sign him up. Get us all in there.
It's just as prominent in like MMA especially, like because
professional sport.
Because injury, like you talk about some of the kids that might, like, being realistic, some of them won't make it to the NRL. So like that's their big plan.
Sports mentality. Like, people think, like, I think
be all end all.
Like, everyone thinks that it's just going to be.
Well, look at your guys' sport. You know, how many guys do MMA or do boxing? How many guys want to be a UFC fighter? Like, what's the percentage that make it? Be 0.5%.
Yeah. And we don't get anywhere near the support of, like, the
NRL.
What you're gonna do? What you're gonna do after? Or what you. Have you thought about doing
to help along the way? I know what you mean.
We're just
we pay for all our own.
You're doing your best,
We pay all our own.
You pay for your trainers, and see, we're lucky. Where I suppose our trainers and our coaches are paid for by the club, so it is totally different. But I think the more you can get behind you, the better it's going to be in the future.
I think that the mental side of stuff for the kids playing footy, though, because I'm a footy player as well.
Yeah,
I think needs to get
addressed.
Yeah. There
Because
are a lot of boys that are just going haywire.
Pressure on them and stuff.
And if they're not fucking killing themselves, they're going to jail. They're getting in trouble.
Yeah, it's and that's hard. And I think it's definitely been addressed at the moment. But the thing is, when especially a lot of these guys that are younger and they're making these SG ball and Jersey flag side, is that they've always been the best player growing up. They've always been the best. They've always been the big dog. Mum and dad's tapping on that. Then they get to that level, and everyone's the same. And when you get to that SG ball, Jersey flag level, I remember being in SG ball, and they told us at our training one day, if one of you guys make first grade, one of you guys, you've done well. And I think that's what they tell you. Like, and you look around and think, I'm the best player. I'm going to make it. You know what I mean? And if you're lucky, one guy makes it, and that's so. What happens to the other 20 blokes are in the squad? You know what I mean? That's hard for them.
And I don't think that doesn't never hit you.
No,
because I actually heard that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, you never hit. You just sit there and you just like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm making.
Who are you? You're coaching SG ball. Yeah. I'm making first grade. You know what I mean? Like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Then next minute, you sit around at the pub. Hey,
I used to play him. I was
better than him. I was better than him.
I used to smash that.
But you know what? A lot of time, mate, I remember so many guys. I never made Australian schoolboys. So many of my good mates did. But they never kicked on for whatever reason.
I've always said it. It's always the quiet grinders that are going to make it anyway. I've been we're from Western Sydney. We have the best players. You see the best talent anywhere. And just whatever happens with it.
Yeah, whatever they do with it.
Yeah, end up getting pregnant. So someone's there's a lot of.
I made penalty. Yeah, I'm pregnant. You made a kid too. Nah. Anyway.
So I know you're also blue belt in jiu-jitsu.
Well, I know you're a black belt. So I know. I won't be.
Did you know he's a blue belt?
Fuck,
he's a white belt.
Hey, you'd have me now, trust me. So I don't
even have a belt.
Yeah, I used to love Dewey. Like, was going probably, I know.
That's how you know Dewey.
Dewey.
Guys go every day, I know. But back in sort of 11, 12, 13, I was probably going twice a week. And, it took me a few years to get a blue belt because I was only going twice a week. And then I noticed, like, when I sort of got to 14, 15 and was getting a little bit older, it was just too hard to just go roll twice a week, play on the weekend, just keep recovering from it. I just couldn't do it. So I actually, like, didn't do anything till this pre-season, the start of this year. So I started 19, so it's like 5 or 6 years I hadn't rolled at all for. And I would turn up to because my brother's right into it now. He's like he's pretty good. And he goes in a lot of tournaments and he's actually been winning a couple of them. Oh, yeah. But so I went back up with him and I went in there and I didn't want to put the blue belt on, man, because like I know when you don't do it, everyone you lose like that, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I said to the coach, I said I don't want to put the blue belt. I wear a white belt. He goes, nah, you earn it. You got to wear it.
To me, I would put it on.
But then the white belt, like I was lucky I was strong enough not to get beaten. But I couldn't beat anyone. I just lost off it. And then I probably went for 2 or 3 weeks and found it coming back a little bit. But then footy started and I haven't rolled again.
Strong blue belts are the worst people to roll with, by the way, because they're just you end up getting.
I couldn't get. They couldn't submit me because I was strong enough. But I just would forget things how to get them. And it's heaps harder with the gear. I used to go a bit with no gear as well, and I found I was better with the no gear because the strength helps a bit. Yeah. Whereas with the gear, like they check you with the gear and like.
I don't think Ty's ever been in a game.
I sweat too much. I've seen how hot them things are.
So would you ever think about an MMA fight then? Or? Oh, look at him!
Look.
I saw Fury was.
I saw him training. Yeah. Look.
Never say never.
Never say never. 100%. Exactly what I was going to say. I'll never say never, but look, it's not something I'm looking to do or to pursue. Yeah.
Next minute we say get on the bare knuckle, the bare knuckle poster.
But I think when I think I'll continue Dewey when I've stopped doing everything, because it's like a really good way to sort of be in that team environment still. Like I notice when you go to classes and that, everyone's like shaking hands and high five, and it reminds me a little bit of footy, and everyone's really nice to each other. So, and when you're there to train, like you're not there to hurt each other. Everyone's there to just help you through. So I found that camaraderie in that I suppose environment is a lot like footy. So I think when I retire totally, I'll continue that, because it's also that competitiveness as well. You know what I mean? And it's safer. It's not banging each other. So I definitely think I'll get back involved in that. In the future.
Now, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I know you probably might not have watched all of the Halfcast podcasts, but you would have seen that we did one with Josh Dugan and Andrew.
Oh yeah, Big 50. I saw that. That was everywhere. That made national news. That one.
Yeah.
Kind of a big deal.
Yeah. Well, I know.
At the beginning of it, he told us a story where he wrestled you.
Oh, Dugan, yeah.
Remember? And he wrestled you and he armbarred you.
He won't give me a rematch. You ring him and ask him. Armbarred, bro. Could have broke my arm. But you know why I know he knew what he was doing, because if he didn't know what he was doing, he would have broke my arm.
He knew. He did the old.
Mate, we're arguing all day. We're carrying on, and we went and rolled in the park. We're rolling in the park at like 8 o'clock. So it's coming on. There's people everywhere. Yeah, and we're rolling, mucking around, and I could feel him going for it. And I'm thinking, there's no way he knows what he's going to do. I thought when he pulls back, I'm just going to roll on top of him. Yeah. And next second, his legs come over and clamp me down.
He's played UFC.
He actually said to me, but he goes, I've got you. And that's why I knew he knew what he was doing.
He goes, tap, and he said he wouldn't tap.
No, he goes, I've got you. And I said, yeah. He goes, tap. Then I was like, no, did you actually know? And he pulled it a bit, and I went, yeah, for feeder. Yeah, that's for feeder is.
He's got snap, man.
Do you know where it was? You know Cronulla Park? We're in South Cronulla Park at 8 o'clock on a Friday night. There's kids and families everywhere. And for feeder at the top of his voice going, snap it.
I remember him telling us the story. He's yelling,
so loud.
His big neck,
thankfully he did. And that's, as I said, as soon as I said, you've done this before, you knew what you're doing. He goes, yeah, I told you. I said, I didn't believe you.
Set up a little wrestling ring, Halfcast podcast.
So the very next day, we had training because it was we had training because there's a trial game on, but all the senior boys weren't playing the trial game.
Yeah.
So we had to go back in the next day for training. I got there early. I'm like, dude, come on. So we're rematch right now. Oh, look, because there's like a dojo there. I said rematch. She's going, no way, mate. I'm retiring king. And all the time asking for a rematch. We'll be at training. We'll do a wrestling session. I'll go up behind him and I'll grab him. I'll say, come on, man, you got to give me a rematch. Not retired king, baby. Retired king. Won't give me a rematch.
We're doing it. We're getting Dukes and Gow
You know the worst thing is
in a rematch.
if he beats me again, I'm if he beats me again, I'm
Next
never at the
minute,
end of it.
Dukes gets signed to the UFC.
Mate, he's big Dukes.
Bro,
He's fucking
a
massive.
big man.
He'd be like 6'4".
Yeah, he's not far off. And mate, he was 111 at one stage. This year, 111.
He's a big boy.
Probably about 105.
He's
normally.
a little bit athletic too, so
Very.
he knows
very.
what he's doing.
He's probably out fishing. He's a mad fisherman.
Oh,
I know,
yeah.
we went fishing. with him.
Mad
We've
fishing.
been- I love
Loves it.
fishing too.
We
He's
can get him on.
knows.
Nah, he knows what's happening.
Oh, did you speak to him?
No, I'm trying to FaceTime him. I'm going to try and call him out after
He don't want that.
after the rematch.
Well, we'll set that up for the next one then. For sure.
All right, let's finish off with some questions. Just same thing that we normally do. So, if you have, actually, before we did that, I want to know about your injuries. Did you have any biggest injuries that you?
I've had surgery on every joint in my body. Ankles, knee, both knees, 3 elbows. You know, there's only 2 elbows.
Anything that bends, you've had surgery.
Bends, both shoulders, my lower back was probably a bit of a scary one. So I had surgery on everything. But thankfully, you know, getting out of bed in the morning is not too hard. I don't have bad knees or anything at the moment. Probably the worst thing is my shoulder. I need surgery on my shoulder at some stage, but it's one of those surgeries that's sort of a 12-month recovery, so I'm just going to keep battling on as long as I can. So that's, but other than that, man, yeah, pretty good to be honest with you. To play first grade for 20 years, I haven't come out of it too bad.
It's so crazy how quick they have you guys back on the field as well.
Oh, these days, yeah.
The
science
surgery that week, straight back in.
Straight back into
crazy.
it, yeah. I think Fafita had surgery and played about 10 days later on his knee. So
It just went in
crazy.
again, I think.
Yeah, they did, last week. And I was actually with him yesterday, and he said it's actually feeling the best it's feeling. Actually, they straightened his knee for the first time in like 2 years.
He's pigeon-toed. He's still pigeon-toed?
No, still pigeon-toed. But his knee actually straightens now, which is a big plus for him.
Ugliest toes. Like the structure.
All right. If you had if you could invite 5 guests to dinner, dead or alive, who'd they be?
Michael Jordan,
Hey.
Charlize Theron. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Who's that?
Charlize Theron, the actor.
You'd know.
The actor. Ayrton Senna, he's dead. He's a race car driver.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Michael Schumacher, another race car driver.
Yeah.
If I could be anything in the world, I'd be a race car driver.
Oh, really?
If I could be.
Do you?
But, I don't follow it religiously, but I just think, man, to be able to travel the world and drive as fast as they do, I think it'd be pretty cool.
Well, that was the next question. So you
Yeah,
nailed
okay,
2.
well,
So
sorry.
you got that
that's
one. That's all good.
Who was the last one? Probably have to, my mum. Everyone loves their mum, so
Yeah.
take my mum.
Nice. And then what advice would you give to your younger self?
Younger self, be patient. I always probably was a little bit rushed and wanted things, and made a fair few mistakes over the years. So I think be patient and I continue to work hard. I think that's the most important thing. But I'd probably be a little bit more patient than what I have been.
Seems to be a common factor with that question when we're asking people coming on. Well, when I asked the people last time you weren't here, we're still gonna get a catch up on your fight, but that'll be coming out soon. This episode will be out before you'll catch up. So thank you again, brother, for coming in.
Boys.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Thanks,
Thanks, mate. Thank you very much.
Thank you, brother.